What up, fight fans all around the world? I am Chris the Big Man on the Big Man Boxing Podcast. I'm back again with some new updates to this PED saga from the fat pig himself, Jarrell, Big Baby Mila Cheetah. And his promoter, Sarafina, claims the reaction of the fans towards him, the repercussion of cheating that he is experiencing right now. The reason why is this intense is because of the color of his skin. And if you know me well as a person, you know I like to jump on all race related discussions. I like to engage in conversations about black people like myself pulling the race card. When do you pull the race card? When is it right? Do you pull the race card every time? Are you aware that you have the race card to pull? It's like you're playing a game of Joker, and there's only one card that you are entitled to pull as a black person. No white person can pull that card. No other ethnicity has that card to pull. Why? Is it because you're the only race that's experienced slavery in the world? Or is it because you're the only race that's experienced slavery in the United States of America? Just imagine that you have a game of Joker and you have a Chinese person there, you have a Jew there, you have a Russian there, you have a Mexican there, you have all races and ethnicity. And as a black person, the society we live in today, the politically correct society, hands you the most important card in the game, and only you are entitled to pull that card whenever you feel like. Now the question is, with that card in your hand, are you honest enough to pull it at the right time, or do you become lazy and pull the race card when it doesn't even matter? When it's your fault, when you fail to produce, when you fail to put in the work, when you commit a crime, when you cheat and you're being confronted about it? Are you one of those African Americans who are not honest enough to take responsibility for their actions and you pull the card, or you allow others to pull the card for you? Are you? In this situation, Piggy Miller allows his promoter to pull the race card for him. So, you see this fool here? His promoter, Sarafina, of the Greg Cohen Promotions, a company I didn't even know of until the New York press conference. Who the fuck is that girl? She said the reason why Mila is being nailed to the cross over this failed drug test is because he's an African American. One of my biggest frustrations is with African Americans, or will I say Black Americans, because many of them don't even connect to their African roots. Big Baby Miller has a unique blend of experiences. He's a New Yorker, American, he's black. He's also from Belize, one of the islands where I think black slaves walked in the many years ago. It's like the experience of blacks in Jamaica, the experience of blacks in Cuba, many of these countries where you have a huge population So she's saying, how do I phrase it? She's saying the only reason why Miller is getting so much criticism from the fans, the media, and everybody is because he's black. It's because he's black. First of all, I'm one that would like to speak for myself, and I believe Miller would like to speak for himself also. I don't think it's right for someone who hasn't had the in real time experiences that Miller has had with the struggles of black people in America. I don't think it's right for you to speak for him. You can say you understand. You don't really understand, but you can say you acknowledge the fact that black people in America face issues like racism, but you shouldn't definitely tell the public that the only reason why he's being criticized is because of the color of his skin. Because one, you will never know what it feels like, because that's not your experience. So why not let the horse speak for himself? Let us hear from the horse's mouth. Let us hear Miller allude to the fact that he is being treated this way because of his skin color. Don't speak for him, Serafina. And in the past 2 days, you've not held back in what you had to say about fans, about people who are disappointed in what Miller did. Like he said in his video, he made a bad call. He cheated. And he has to play the tune to the music. He has to face the repercussions of his actions. There's no room for victimhood here. He's not a victim. The only victim that will have existed would have been the fighter who had stepped into the ring with him, not Miller. Miller is not a victim here. He's a victim of his actions. The actions are coming from him. His actions, his desire to cheat at all costs, to gain unfair advantage in a fight at all costs, in a fight, in a deadly fight, in a life and death fight. He is a victim of his actions. He's not a victim of no one's actions. So pulling the race card here doesn't count in any way. You picked the wrong person to pull the race card with. What really frustrates black American fighters is they don't have the perfect enemy. Most times they have a watered down excuse as to why they are facing the situations they are facing in boxing. If it's a white person, it's probably from Russia or it's from Ukraine. They never get to show a parallel between the experience of a black American and a white American fighter. There's never a situation where you have on one side a black American boxer and on the other side a white American boxer. It's always a white person who is from Ukraine or from Russia. Those people, they are a Russian white or an Ukrainian white is a different kind of white. It's not the American white. So that doesn't work. Or they will compare a black American fighter's experience to a Mexican American fighter experience. Or they will compare a black American fighter's experience to a Filipino fighter experience. Or most recently, they will compare a black American fighter's experience to a British Nigerian black fighter's experience. They're always reaching, they're always looking for evidence of white privilege in boxing. They are always looking out for it. Unfortunately, Canelo is not that example. Canelo is not an example of white privilege. No. Canelo is Mexican, and Mexicans have had their issues, their struggles living in America. Canelo doesn't represent any of the things this lady is trying to push out there. He grew up in Guadalajara, Mexico. Sorry if I pronounced that badly. That is the slums of the slum. He didn't grow up with any privilege. Yeah, he's pale skin and he has red hair, but he doesn't share any of the privileges that black Americans would have living in the United States. No, he doesn't have any of those. If black Americans have any privileges, if there's any benefits of being American that they have over other non-Americans like myself from Africa, from Nigeria, or Canelo Alvarez from Mexico, if there's any, Canelo doesn't have any of those. And there's no way the white Americans can connect to him because he doesn't even speak English. He understands English, he can speak English, but he refuses to speak English when he's in the public. He chooses to represent his country, Mexico, true and true, and he's always speaking Spanish. So I don't see why this lady will be drawing the parallel between Canelo's experience after failing the drug test and Miller. Let me just break down this argument once and for all. Let's take the big fat pig himself, Big Baby Miller. Let's make him look like a pig. Give him pale skin, give him blonde hair, but let him still remain about 365 pounds. And let's see if he gets a better experience as a boxer in the heavyweight division than the black version. Believe you me, Big Baby Miller in boxing is better off as a black man. There are some privileges to being a black American fighter in boxing. People take you more seriously because the lineage and generation of the greatest fighters in the world and in America have been black. So there's a precedence. People have come to accept the best fighters in the world as being non-white. If they are white at all, they are from Eastern Europe. If they are not black, they are Mexicans, they are from Asia, Philippines. If they are white at all, they are from Britain. But most of the history of this sport has been dominated by black fighters. So pulling Canelo and comparing his experience to Miller's experience is so dishonest. In addition to that, the clout, the following that Canelo pulls is why he got $365 million and not weighing 365 pounds. That's why. That is why. If Canelo was black and he could pull the fan base that he pulls, meaning to say, if black people supported Jarrell Miller the way Mexicans support Canelo, maybe he will not be in this situation now. It's not about the skin color. It's about your following. It's about how much money you bring to the table. Anthony Joshua is not white. Anthony Joshua is a black man. But you can see how much promotion he gets because the world and everyone knows that he has a fan base. He has a whole nation behind him. Manny Pacquiao is not a white man. Neither is he a black man. But he gets the privileges that he gets because he has a nation behind him. That's the main point. Floyd Mayweather is a black man. And you wouldn't say he has a nation behind him, but he has people who would pay to see him lose a fight. More people would pay to see Floyd Mayweather get his first O than will pay to see him keep winning. So in a way, he still has a following. So the idea that you're comparing Canelo who failed a drug test and still being able to sign 365 billion, comparing that to Miller is so dishonest. Big difference. Two different weight classes, two different personalities. And also, if Canelo was a dick, if he was a dickhead, if he was a rude, trash-talking, disrespectful guy, probably will not get We would not have gotten away with this without getting some stick from the fans. Trust me. When you're that kind of person who talks so much trash, who is disrespectful, you have people who want to see you beat up. Like myself, I wanted to see Big Baby Miller put to pieces by Joshua. I wanted to see him pissed up. I wanted to see his lumped up face. I wanted to see his face reconstructed like Joshua promised. I would have loved the pleasure of seeing that happen. I wanted to see him broken down by Joshua in the ring. And if I don't get to see that, hey, he doesn't get any praise from me for cheating. Because he cheated, he denied me the opportunity of seeing him beat up so badly. Cheated to escape. So the only reason why Miller is getting so much hate, and I won't call it hate because I would rather call things hate when you are experiencing hate for no unjust reason. This is a just reason why fans should react this way. Because one, he has put that whole fight card at jeopardy. He has disappointed fans who would have loved to watch that fight. He has affected the whole promotion by cheating. So he rightfully deserves everything that comes to him. And just so you know, there's a face behind this promoter, Sarafina. Let me show you on our article where she was no holds barred. She didn't hold back any comments when it came to fans criticizing Miller. So you see, she's blonde, natural or fake. She's not black. She's not a man, so she doesn't have the experience of black American men in America. So I don't see why she should speak for Miller. So in one of the reactions of a fan said, tongue in cheek, this is kind of sarcastic, makes me laugh. He said, speaking of Miller, he's probably exhausted after his drug treatments. And here's what Sarafina had to say. You're probably exhausted from being effed in your ass. Get the fuck out of here. GTFOH. Damn, this woman doesn't hold back. I hope she's willing to take as much as she gives. I hope she's willing to take as much as she gives. I hope she doesn't get offended when men come for her, because she really went deep on this guy. So she just opened up the storm gates. It's a free for all. If this man comes back at you, don't claim misogyny here. Don't claim the sexism here. Don't pull the Me Too card here, because you open the floodgates. It's no holds barred. You don't start something that you cannot finish. So if a fan is talking to Miller and not to you, the guy didn't make this statement. This statement was not meant for you. It was meant for Miller. Yeah, he added you in the comment, but this comment was meant for Miller, not for you. And for you to go deep on him, it's no holds barred. Don't pull the victim card on him when he comes back at you, or if any other man comes back at you, because a lot of people do that. They are willing to say the worst thing against someone, but when someone retaliates against them, they go soft. They begin to portray themselves as a victim. So this was what she said to him. Then our fan went really deep. This guy did not even include her in this conversation. He was commenting to another person, the guy who she just went at. He said, at Raging Babe, they should ban him. And then she turned to this guy and said, including the other guy, and you should suck his, you know what? This lady's not afraid to speak her mind. That's for sure. Look at her. She's not afraid to speak her mind. Not at all. Not at all. Please, Mrs. Sarafina, or Miss Sarafina, stop speaking for Miller. Let him face the consequences of his actions. He's a victim of it. He's a victim of his action, so he should face the consequences of his action. It's not about race. Stop pulling the race card. Stop bringing Canelo, a Mexican, into this picture. Canelo is not Mexican American. Canelo is Mexican through and through. And Mexicans have also suffered in America. It's not only black Americans that have suffered. And this is coming from a black guy. There are victims everywhere. This is not a competition about who is the biggest victim in the world. Once you're a victim of something, you're a victim of something. Once you're a victim of racism, you're a victim of racism. Black, white, or whatever you are. It's not all about the blacks. It's not all black. That's all for me. I will be looking out for what else she has to say. Or maybe she's going to say the reason why people are hating on Miller is because of his body type, because he's fat. She will call this the fat shaming card she will pull. Whatever. It is what it is. I am Chris the Big Man, and this is the Big Man Boxing Podcast. And I am out. Peace.